And they chosen ones. And yeah, this is coming off my thought patterns episode 116, and I got a lot of energy right now. The numerals add up to number 8, the number that's linked to the infinite and abundance. And my message has got real substance, so I'm not reluctant to raise in my soul. Trust me. Shout outs to the Soul Tribe out there. Been sending me that good ass energy, and I really feel it, baby. Oh yeah. And it's beautiful when your consciousness is affecting matter in a positive way. Trust me, it's not no joke out here, like I like to say. But yeah, okay. Let's tap into this one, yeah? Okay. Heart streaming, yeah? Your consciousness. So when you activate your throat chakra and your heart chakra, yeah, and you sync them up, when you express yourself, you're affecting consciousness, the collective consciousness, in a beautiful way, you know. And it's beautiful because it always shows you in your dimensional state where you're at. This is why, you know, the dream state, what people call the dream world, is actually the real world. This is the Maya, the illusion that can create confusion if you're not fusing the light and the darkness together. You know what I mean? Because trust me, everything's interconnected, and you don't want to reject yourself. Keep on loving yourself wholeheartedly. Trust me. But okay, let's tap into this one fully. Yeah. Okay. What had this Grand Rising is Iron Flory. Shouts to Lady Crown out there, and ginger, and a bio juice that Yaki awakened, may go viral, because he healed himself with that bio juice. And you know, when you have the essential minerals within your body, it raises your energy, you know, and it affects your mind as well and your soul. Everything's connected. So, you know, mineralizing the body is key because a lot of us are deficient in minerals. You know, we live in a chemicalized world when we should be mineralized. So, you know, tap into that and do your research on that, you know. And, you know, alkaline herbs really assimilate with your biochemical structure. And since I've changed my biochemical structure, it's helped me tremendously. And this is why I promote it out there as much as possible, you know, to make people realize that they got the power when they make the right choices, you know. Because you know what I've realized with consciousness? It makes your decisions much more potent in terms of how it affects you in a positive way. You know, you can be very intellectual, but your decision making is going against you, you know, because like I like to say, a lot of people are left sided, but when you become right sided as well, fusing it together, you can become more creative within your life because we are co creators. And as long as you got the right information, you can make the right choices. This is why I'm so big on, you know, spreading this knowledge, you know, this awareness, you know, so you're not careless, you're fearless, you know what I mean? Tapping in every single second, like I like to say. Okay, what else is coming off me right now? Um, yeah, being in a state of gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership, you know? It expands the bandwidth of frequencies around you, you know, because a lot of people aren't giving thanks. And what happens is your aura turns within, you know, dealing with greed, envy, jealousy, those lower frequencies. But when you really tap into peace, harmony, and love, baby, oh yeah, you expand your frequencies and you affect matter in a positive way. You know, when you vibrate in true love, you're affecting around 250,000 people. Imagine that in a positive light, you know, because they're open to receive those frequencies. So just remember how powerful you are. Remember that you're always affecting matter, you know, and you're connected to the all when you really tap in, you know. And once I found out who I really am, yeah, I took responsibility and had accountability for my life, you know. So any actions that I take, I'm being present with, you know. And one thing I've learned to do, and I do it every day. I'm obedient to spirit, and not many people will get where you're coming from, but your internal self will know exactly where you're coming from because you're creating your reality, you know. Because the matrix does cause many tricks, so many people are living up to personas, but not living up to their true authentic self. And when you live up to your true authentic self, everything changes. Trust me, because energy is contagious and it can get outrageous. And trust me, I went through various stages of my awakening. And when I really tapped into my shadow and transitioned it to the light, woo, I started shining bright. And anytime that I utter these energies, and sometimes I do stutter, but I make sure that I deal with the clutter, you know what I mean? Because everything's within first and outside second. Remember that. Because remember, when people are judging you by the 5%, it's a very limited perspective, because when you got a high perspective, you'll realize everything's within first and outside second. This is why, the great leaders, they reach people internally first, then outside second, you know? And I'm talking about the activists. I'm talking about the people that made big moves and had a big influence on life, like the Bob Marleys, the Muhammad Ali's, these great people that had a great impact on reality, And shout out to my master teachers out there, like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Sebi, Dr. Bruce Lipton, just people coming off my head right now. Because, one thing I've learned as well is that consciousness doesn't have a face. Because what you're seeing outside isn't a representation of what's really going on within people. Remember that. You got to be really mindful out here. And yeah, man. And some psychology tips, yeah. Being silent with those that are silent with you and being expressive with those that are expressive with you helps you on your journey tremendously. And also doing this every day, double PQI, positive, present, quick interactions. When you do that, you can move away from what doesn't serve you and focus on what you're creating. Because remember, you're going to have many challenges on this journey, but always follow your heart in a higher frequency, man, because it really is guiding you to your greatest version, and you'll no longer be hurting because you'll realize that you're creating reality within this present moment. Stay focused on your journey, because trust me, you don't want to go down there. Trust me, you don't want to go down there. Stay in the light, but also use the dark for you as well, because it's all interconnected. And one little message for the chosen ones out there, yeah, your energy is exclusive, so got to understand that sometimes you got to get reclusive in order to protect your spirit, because that's what's most important. Because trust me, it's you that's got to face you all the time, innit? So keep on connecting with the divine and feeling so good, real good. 'Cause it's all about the feeling, baby. Oh yeah. And they are with you spiritually. STS over and out. Peace and blessings.